Welcome back to Circle Club Entertainment for yet another Diecast review. And today we're going to be looking at another 2024 NASCAR Cup Series Diecast. This one's going to be Ty Gibbs and his 2024 Interstate Batteries number 54 Toyota Camry XSE for Joe Gibbs Racing. Absolutely fantastic car. This is a paint scheme that kind of doesn't change all that much since they started kind of running this better looking lightning bolt scheme in 2020, and then they adjusted it for the 2022 next gen, and then they made a couple small changes here and there, and now we get to where we are today with this paint scheme. Of course, Ty Gibbs, Interstate Batteries being one of his major sponsors, and honestly a major sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing entirely. Monster Energy still does not allow Lionel to make any Monster Energy NASCAR diecasts, so we're kind of stuck getting his secondary schemes first. But this one is one that I'm really glad to have, because when I first saw this lightning bolt Interstate Battery scheme on the new Camry, wow, does it look epic. It looks even more epic, especially now that you can paint the side skirts on these cars. They finally allow you to do that. That is amazing. And with this paint scheme, you can actually see even more detail than you saw in the other ones from the past that were on the old Camry TRD mold. This is going to be a fantastic diecast. So, of course, you got NASCAR Cup Series 2024, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Ty Gibbs, the usual 2024 packaging. So, pretty neat to get this one. Green cars always look spectacular, and this car is definitely one of those. So, without further ado, let's get this diecast out of the box and ready to be reviewed. Alright, folks, here it is, brand new out of the box, and this car is electrifying. No pun intended. This thing actually looks amazing. And of course, this paint scheme we've looked at a couple times on this channel and a couple times in my career of reviewing these diecasts since 2022. But on the new Camry, this thing stands out even more. Of course, here it is, another new Camry diecast. I love this mold. This is one of my favorite stock car bodies ever, and to have one of my favorite Toyota paint schemes ever on it. This is my favorite Toyota paint scheme ever. If you're wondering which Toyota paint scheme is my most favorite one of all the ones, besides the Mavis car, which looks really good, this is my favorite one. I really love how this scheme looks, and it's really cool to see it run on multiple drivers, just so you can see this paint scheme a lot more. I do wish they brought back the black variant in its full capacity. They kind of brought the black version back with Christopher Bell in the back half of his Daytona dual car and Phoenix car. But nonetheless, the Interstate Battery scheme altogether is just amazing. Look at how amazing this car looks. I love the green, the white. This is easily one of the best Interstate Batteries paint schemes ever since they started running it. And on this new Camry, it still holds that top spot. So without further ado, let's get into this diecast review. You got number 54, Camry and Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, Sunoco on either side. The decaling for the Toyota Camry, this front grille is still a little bit too small right here, but we'll get into that when we do the mold comparisons and we kind of get into these new molds a little bit more. But I will point that out anyway. You have Toyota Camry. I like how the Toyota logos are kind of chromed out. That kind of looks cool. I know it's just a decal chrome like it is on the real car, but man, it just looks detailed. I really like my detail on these cars. Of course, you have Interstate Batteries with the hood vents. Is it me or this diecast review is coming out a lot clearer than the minor car? I don't know. Just let me know in the comment section. You got Toyota and Ty Gibbs right there. You have Sunoco. You have the blue Goodyear logo right there. It's in blue. Kind of interesting, because if it was white, you'd hardly be able to read it. The yellow Goodyears with the dark gray rims. You have NASCAR Cup Series number 54, the little exhaust port. You have Ty Gibbs, Interstate Batteries. You have Toyota, JD Gibbs, you have Sports Clips, and I believe that is some decal fold and not a sponsor. Yep, that's exactly what I thought. He gets us Mobile One, Interstate Batteries, slanted across the side. This thing does not have the black part of the scheme. For some reason, they kind of left it like that, but honestly, this looks better. I know it's not accurate, but it does look better. Don't get me wrong about that. But again, with painting the side skirts, look at how much more of the paint scheme you could see. Look how much paint scheme was missing before. This is what it looked like last year. And now look at it this year with the full paint. Just look at the difference that makes. Wow, dude. But yeah, I do like how they did keep the exhaust detailing on there. Got Mobile 1 really small. He Gets Us is another car I'm not sure they're going to make, but that's kind of cool to see the logo on the car anyway. You have Toyota Camry XSE with the rear view camera. John 316, I Am Second, which has been on almost every single Interstate Batteries car. And number 54, Interstate. Mobile 1 and Toyota. Again, there's another cool look at the new mold from the back. You have Mac Tools, Siemens, DN Solutions, Lincoln Welders, Sherwin-Williams, and that one I'm never able to read. That circle one, I've never been able to read it, but that logo is on there as well. You have Gibbs, Outrageously Dependable, and number 54. And honestly, this is an outrageously awesome paint scheme, as it always is. So let's get into the review of this paint scheme. I know we've reviewed this car a couple of times, but I'll just go over it again a little bit for any new viewers. And of course, in case there might be any small differences from the years past, of course, the biofuel logo right there, which is apparently not coming back for every car in 2025. But let's get a closer look at this car. So if you look at the front of it, that's where this green kind of starts at. Of course, the two front corners are going to have the starting of the side lightning bolts. And of course, you're going to have some more of the lightning bolts on the hood. And as you look across all the lightning bolts, it's going to be a mix of white, and then you're going to have some like light green, very almost yellowish looking lightning bolts and kind of gradient patterns as you look across it right here. I always liked this, how they have that lightning bolt on where the name panel is, the side of the roof panel. Looks amazing how that just goes straight over. It just looks electrifying. That was like one of the big differences from the past. But if you look at the rest of it, of course, doesn't look to be too much changed. There might be some small little changes, but honestly, it looks a lot like it always has since 2022 for the next gen version of this car. But I like it. I love this paint scheme. It's still one of my favorite ones. I'd love for them to make a Hamlin one, make the Truex one, the Christopher Bell one. Just, you can make it for all the drivers. So like that, if you're a Joe Gibbs Racing fan, but you're not a Ty Gibbs fan, you can get other ones, or just get all four. I might get all four if they were all made. I don't know. But the Ty Gibbs, of course, because this is his only diecast, I always get the Ty Gibbs one every year. But yeah, I'm just kind of giving you 360 views because this is a paint scheme we've seen before on the channel. But just take in all the details of like the outlines, like the way the gradient fades are in certain areas compared to others. Just the lightning bolts all around it just looks spectacular. What a beautiful looking car. Holy cow. And this still very much is my favorite. But yeah, you got lightning bolts all across it. And just, yeah, just spectacular. You even have like little specks of white, like little dots. It's kind of hard to see. It might be hard to see for some people, but I'll zoom in a little bit. It kind of has like an effect to it. This car almost looks like it's lighting up. Like, I bet if you put this in a dark room, like a dark room but not super dark, this is the first car that would pop out. I mean, this is actually fantastic. All the different shades of green on here. But let's look at the numbers right here. So you got the black outline to the black shadow outline, a slightly different green outline, a thin black outline, and a white number fill-in for the iconic number 54 font. And honestly, the 54 looks so cool. I've always liked this font. This is an excellent looking font. Very similar to, I believe, the DGR font of the past, but they were just using it on Kyle Busch and now Ty Gibbs and just for Joe Gibbs Racing. But I really like that font. It's really cool. I could see why he would still want to run it. And on this paint scheme, it looks even cooler. And honestly, this paint scheme would look good on anything. You could put it on a Camry, you could put it on a Camaro, you could put it on a Mustang, you could put it on a Maserati. It just looks, this paint scheme would look good on anything. And don't even get me started on how even cooler it looks on the Xfinity Supra. Wow. Absolutely recommend this diecast. Definitely get it. Of course, I am trying to collect all the new Camry molds, so this is definitely one you're definitely going to want to get if you're doing what I'm doing, because this is definitely going to be one of the more iconic Toyota diecasts, or just Toyota paint schemes in general. I just really like it a lot. We're going to do a 360 view of this car. So here's the front of the car. Here is the hood. Here is the right side. Yeah, I just love this scheme. This is just such an awesome car. Here's the back of it right here. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof and the top profile of this car. Here's the left side, which is pretty much the same as the right. I might give it one more look because I might be surprised. Maybe it might be slightly different. I don't think it is. It's very similar. And here is the under tray of this 2024 Toyota Camry XSE. Spectacular. Absolutely, definitely can recommend this car to any collector. This is a great looking car. It would look great in anyone's collection. If you don't already have this car from like when it first came out up to now, definitely pick it up today because this thing, especially on the new Camry, spectacular. I know it doesn't have the red numbers anymore. They kind of went back to the way they had it in 2020. They just don't have any red, and it's definitely more detailed because if you remember 2022, this was literally just a black outline with a white number fill-in and generic. It did not have this green outline to it, but when they put this green outline back on the car, it definitely elevated the detail level of it. So just a couple little things to look out for if you're trying to point out differences of this car through the years. But yeah, Ty Gibbs, this is probably going to be his only diecast. He didn't run a black one this year, unfortunately. So this might actually be his only car, which is actually insane if they don't make the other ones. Then if they don't make his, he gets, oh yeah, they're doing that CW car. Oh, okay, so yeah, definitely get that CW car when it comes out. I know I'm going to get it. Man, I just love this new Camry. So thank you all for checking out this diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review here on the channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.